Shibashi time. It's International Women's Day today, so we'll be thinking about that while we're practicing. Let's see who joins us. Hi Chris, good morning, and Jane, hi. We've got lots going on here. After last week's Chasing the Cow additional move, which wasn't expected, you'll be pleased to know we are now biting the bullet and fitting a cattle grid. So once that's in, I'm not entirely sure when it's going to go in. We've had the quote for installing it now, so we're waiting on Peter to see when he can get a whole week free to do it. Obviously, putting a cattle grid in our entrance is where we come in and out. So it means taking down some of the front hedging and fencing so that we can get in and out around it while he's digging a great big hole, and putting in a little hedgehog ramp. We do need to make sure it's really strong, because we need for heavy vehicles to still go in and out here, even if it's just the old stool bus emptying the septic tank. So we need a good strong cattle grid. We've got the grid here, so it's all going to happen probably on Monday when the digging starts. I can guarantee that, but as soon as I know what week it is, then everybody will be dealing with from the bay, so there'll be a week of disruption. But it should stop future disruption from cattle coming in. If you want to have a little bit of a laugh, then do Google cattle grid on Google Images, because there's some hilarious photos of sheep stuck in cattle grids. All their legs are down and it's just a sheep. So I did have quite a lot of fun researching that. So yeah, that's what's happening here. We've had, what else has happened? This morning the Land Rover battery has given up with the cold, so that's now on charge. It's partly that the battery will need replacing, but it's also because we've just not been travelling anywhere with lockdown. So the furthest the car's gone has been to Midsomer Norton and back, and there's so many electrics and things on vehicles now. It's just not had enough of a charge up on runs. So yeah, we've got a battery casualty. But lucky we've still got the Mini, and he's doing well, so we can still get out and about if we need to. Morning, Janet. So that's also kicked off our week. Yeah, it's a lot happening. So it's nice to switch off and do the Tai Chi on a Monday. Morning, Lynn. So I do have a fluffy cat just on the sofa up here at the moment. Whether she'll jump down and put in an appearance for you, it's possible. Yeah, we're cracking on with things. What else can I tell you? That's the big news, I think, making the decision on the cattle grid. Hair is just doing what it wants to now. I've given up. As long as it's clean and washed, that's it. So it's a bit fluffy at the moment. I've been thinking about investing in some curling irons and putting a bit of a curl into it now. It's like this. I've been watching Marcella on the iPlayer, and if anyone's seen that, you'll know that in the third series, she's got her hair very much like this, but bleach blonde, and it's all curly and mad. And I thought, well, we might go a bit curly until we get back to Paul the hairdresser. Morning, Pauline. Hopefully you haven't got other appointments today to deal with. I'm used to you shooting off on me. Right, we are going to start with a warm-up, and then we're going to concentrate on our feet for this session. So we're going to be looking at our feet, what the feet are doing in all the moves, trying to keep them nice and secure and planted to the floor, and looking at the weight ratio as the top of the body's moving, what you can expect and what you can try to do with the feet to the ground. So that's what we are going to be looking at. Morning, Sharon. Couldn't get you on iPad. What, today? Are you on your phone? Is it? I know. I don't know how these things work a lot of the time. I'm learning as I do everything. So before lockdown, I hadn't done a Facebook Live ever. So yeah, if anybody knows why Pauline can't get me on the iPad, then do drop her some advice, things to try. You might be a bit more technical than me. You know, we're all learning this. Yeah, on phone. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Because I am beaming out to you. So if your iPad's is it not picking up the broadband? Doesn't like where you put it. Have you moved it at all? Who knows? It's a mystery. Right, we are going to start. I'll be little teeny tiny on Pauline's phone, but that doesn't matter. Because Pauline's been coming to me long enough. She knows the moves and knows the order. You could do it blindfold, couldn't you? Right. Make sure as always you've got your water to sip on. It's going to be a lovely day today. I think the rain's coming in after today, so make the most of any sunshine you get. I'm going to take feet facing forwards. Just think about those feet being planted nice and firm to the floor. And as you stand before the warm-up, so hip bone distance apart with the feet, both facing forwards. Just get them nice and settled flat to the floor. I'm not moving the toes yet. So thinking about your posture, pelvis slightly tilted back. We're going to start moving the head from one side to the other. So slowly turning, holding it for a little bit, and then to the other side. So do 3 or 4 to each side, gently starting to stretch out the neck. Then drop that chin down as you roll through from one side, roll into the other side. Gently stretching forwards, stretching out the back of the neck. And bringing the head back to centre. Going to keep the head still and move the eyes to look up, down, right and left. Keep going up, down, right and left. And film yourself doing this when you get a minute at home to make sure that, especially when you look right and left or left and right, you're not moving the head with you. It's very easy to just move even a fraction as you cast those eyes over. So check you're keeping the head still. Okay, from here we're going to take the shoulders up to the ears and let them drop. Both shoulders coming up, let them drop. Once more, shoulders to ears and down. Then one shoulder at a time. Up, let it go. So slowly bringing it up and just let it drop. Trying to loosen up the shoulder joint. Then the whole arm forward and around. Big circle forwards. And then we're going to take it back for 3. So as you're doing this, you're keeping the body facing forwards, head's facing forwards, pelvis is staying facing towards the front, changing arms. So we're going to go back first of all for at least 3 full circles. And then taking it forwards. So hopefully you can see my hips are still facing forwards, they're not moving at all. Try not to swing the body so we're not going round like this, and just go to wherever the arm will move. Hands to the front of the shoulders, same again with the elbows. Elbows circling forwards and around. And then circling back. Changing arms, circling forwards and around with that elbow. And circling back. So keeping the lower half of the body still at the moment. Drop the arms. So if you just reach to touch your bony hip bones here at the front of the body, you should be able to, if you have a poke in there, it doesn't matter how much fat we've got on there, you still be able to get your fingers in and feel them. And imagine you've got two little stickers on them, and they're like eyes, and they're facing forwards, these eyes. So we're keeping the eyes or headlights, whatever works for you with your brain, headlamps facing forwards. Okay, arms are going to come up to the front. Soft elbows, we'll circle the hands in. Then we'll circle the hands back the other way. Still the hands and make two fists with the knuckles facing away from you. Going to stretch those fingers out. Big stretch of the hands. Back into fists and a stretch of the fingers. One more, into fists, stretching the fingers. Take the left hand, turn it palm up and gently pull back on the fingers to stretch out the inner wrist. Then hold that for at least 5 seconds before you change hands. So go palm up with the other hand, pull back on the fingers, stretching out, straightening the arm and stretching out the inner wrist. Dropping the arms, going to stretch through the sides of the body now. So you're going to push down with one hand and up with the other hand. And straight arms, turn the head to look up towards that top hand. So lengthening both sides of the body. And changing sides. So pushing up to the sky, reaching down to the earth. Hips are still facing forwards, headlights still shining ahead. We'll do one more to each side, reaching up and pushing down. Try not to hold your breath. Keep breathing through the stretch. One more, reaching up and pushing down. And stretching across the chest, bow and arrow, so pulling back and pointing an arm out long, looking down that long arm. Again, headlamps facing forwards. And one to the other side. So you're going to point the arm out, pull back across the chest, looking down that long arm. Drop the arms, we're going to swing them around the torso, so you're swinging the arms, tapping the front of the shoulders. Again, hips are staying still, headlamps pointing forwards, feet haven't moved at all yet. Heels of the hands going into the lower back to push down and out behind, pushing down and out, kidney wiping. Keeping those shoulders moving, warming up the lower back. Drop the hands, give them a wiggle. Now you're going to move from the waist. So we're taking those hips round one way, like a hula hoop. Hips going round, trying to get into that big circle. Ankles are moving now, feet still stay flat to the floor. Back the other way. And then coming down to the knees. We're going to give the knees a good rub. Remember, look towards the floor so you're not putting any tension on the back of the neck. Have a look at those feet. Spread the toes out as wide as you can, then put them down on the floor again whilst you're rubbing your knees. Then if your knees are okay with this, we're going to circle them. If not, keep rubbing the knees. We're going to circle both knees in. As you're doing this, look at what the feet are doing. And moving a little bit and back the other way. So you see the weight go from the outside to the inside of the foot as the ankles start to move. Fingers staying on the knees, or if you need to, a little bit higher up the leg. We're going to look to the right, back through the centre, look to the left. One side to the other, very briskly as we're warming ourselves up. Anything hurts, stop. And straightening back up. Okay, heel tap into the front. So our feet are still flat to the floor. Headlamps facing forwards. You're going to shift the weight into one leg as you bring up the heel. Tap it with the opposite hand. Foot back down. Heel tap front. Pelvis is facing forwards. Body's not leaning forwards or leaning back. Getting used to balancing on one leg. And then heel tap into the back. So legs coming up behind. And you tap in towards the opposite hand again. Make sure you're not leaning back to do it. Keeping that torso straight. So if you don't reach the hand, don't worry. As long as it's somewhere close. Heel coming up and down. Then back to facing forwards. Get the feet settled again. Lift the toes up, spread them as wide as you can. If it helps, do it with your hands as well. And then lower the toes back down, spread out. We're going to lift the heel of one foot and then circle that ankle around one way. So you're keeping the ball joints and the toes down on the floor. Just circle the ankle. Then back the other way. Dropping the heel, changing feet. So coming up onto the ball joints and the toes. Circle the ankle round. Circling one way. And back the other way. And ignore all the grinding and popping and cracking noises in that ankle joint. You're asking it to move and it doesn't usually do much of that. Put the heel back down. Okay, we're going to take the right foot half a step forwards and then you're going to raise from the toes up through to rock back onto the heel to feel a gentle calf stretch through the lower part of the back of the leg. Then toes back down to release it. And again, bringing that foot up, stretching at the calf. And back down. One more, lifting up. And coming back down. Now you turn the whole leg to the side. So headlamps still face forwards. Lift and lower, again from the toe, rocking back on that heel. And you'll feel the side of the leg switch on, right up into the glute, into the bottom. Whichever leg you're doing, you'll feel that buttock switch on. Stepping back, changing sides. So very slightly forwards, starting with the calf stretch to the front, lifting up and down. And again. Feel that calf stretch, hold it, lower back down. One more. Turning the foot and the leg to the side, so the knees facing the same way, hips still facing forwards. Lift and lower. When you lift up, you feel the buttock switch on, you're doing it right. And the last one, lifting up, lowering down, taking the foot back. We'll just do one set of each of the heel lifts to wake those calves up a little bit more. So thinking about not swaying the hips forward as we do this, you're going to come up onto the toes and lower back down slowly. Coming up and down. Up and down. That's 3. Coming up and down. Heels up and down. Got 5 more to do. Now Have you been doing anything and you feel your calves aching because you've been overdoing it in the garden? You haven't been doing these every day. 2 more. Coming up. Dropping down. 1 more. And down. You're going to bring the heels together. So you want a small turn out of a V. Feet flat to the floor. Don't take the feet too wide. Ankles are probably touching. Heels definitely touching. You feel the bottom switch on. And pull my trousers so you can see what I'm up to. Same again. Heels up. Heels stay together. Legs stay together. Lower down. Coming up. And down. Lifting up. Keep those heels pressed together. Down. And again. And down. Number 5. Slowly down. Number 6. And down. Should really feel the back of the legs working now. Coming down. Number 8. Heels stay pressed together. Slowly down. Try not to plummet. Number 9. And down. 1 more. Heels coming up. And down. Give them a little wiggle. We're going to march through the feet. Marching toe, toe, heel, heel. Out, out, in, in. You all know this. Out, out, in, toe, toe, heel, heel. Out, out, in. Let your body relax a bit. Loosen it up. You feel those calves now. You just worked them quite hard. 1 more. Toe, toe, heel, heel. Out, out, in. Okie dokie. End of warm up. Morning, Jean. Morning, Lynn. Coming through loud and clear. Lynn, you're going to have a word with Pauline, see what she's doing wrong. Right. The 2 sets of heel raises we did. So feet apart and then heels together. Try to do 3 sets of 10 of each every day. It'll only take you a couple of minutes. You can do it while the kettle's boiling. You can try and do it while you're brushing your teeth. Test your balance. Any little routines you've got, try and incorporate that in. Keep those calves nice and strong. You only notice a difference if you don't do it. Okay, we are going to look at the feet now. So I'm going to come a little bit closer to you. Now you can't see my feet on there, I think. So when I'm talking about the ball joints of the toes of the feet, they're right back here. Okay, so the toe, I'm going to take my sock off. You're going to see a shocking pedicure because they're long overdue. So when you're looking at where your toes end, it's a long way back. Even longer on mine because I've got really long toes. You think about what your toes are doing. The ball joint, it's this padded bit right back here. So that's what we're thinking about with the toes. So when I'm talking ball joint of the big toe and little toe, it's these points here. So I hope you can see that. And then back towards the heel. Take my other sock off now. So we have hundreds of nerve endings in the bottoms of the soles of the feet, and they don't get much attention at all normally. So it's something we're thinking about while we practice the Tai Chi, what's going on with our feet, and being firm and connected and rooted to the ground. We're going to start by relaxing into Wuji. So it's hip bone distance to start with, feet facing forwards. I'm going to take a moment to slow the breathing down after the warm up. And think about what this body's doing. Now you can lift your toes up again, spread them as wide wide as you can and put them back down to the ground. Trying to think about having equal weight through both feet. So 50% of your body is through both. I had a pair of kitchen scales underneath each foot, they'd both be reading exactly the same. So you're not standing heavy into one leg or the other at the moment. Slightly soften the knees, pelvis tilting back, headlamps shining forwards. A little pull up through the chest bone to try and get a neutral spine, keeping the head relaxed, jaws nice and relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed and down, so make sure you've not brought them up at all. We don't want any tension there. Arms to the side of the body, hanging open. Little fingers towards the side of the front of the thighs. Slowing the breathing down. You can close your eyes if it helps to relax into Uji before we start. Just thinking about the breathing as you take long deep breaths in, letting the belly expand and breathing out, squeezing that air out from the pelvis through the stomach. And breathing in. We've done the belly breathing before. It's just reminding yourself to try and breathe from down here as you practice the moves. But I want most of your focus today to be on the feet and what they're doing. So before we start into the set, think about being nice and solid and rooted and strong through the legs. So if you think about the body like a tree, the feet are the roots, they're holding us to the ground. The legs are coming up into the trunk of the tree. So as we move, there'll be a little bit of movement, but we're not actually going to uproot ourselves and go flying. From the waist up, we're getting into the stronger branches, the start of the tree, so we're going to have some movement. And the smaller branches are going to be the arms. So the top of the body will be swaying all over the place, but the trunk and the roots are staying solid and firm, so you feel nice and secure. So that's kind of what I want you to get to be thinking about as we practice today. We're going to take a step out to commence. So as you step out, you're coming to at least shoulder width. Those feet stay facing forwards. Again, if you need to, lift the toes up and spread them wide and place them down. Now those feet are fixed and firm now. What happens a lot when people practice, they're concentrating on what's going on up here and they find the toes will be lifting and wiggling and do all kinds of funny things. We want to keep the toes flat, the ball joints of the toes flat to the ground, heels nice and solid, equal weight through both feet. Soften the knees. We're going to take a breath in as we commence, bringing the hands up, and a breath out, lowering back down. So remember, you're keeping that pelvis heading very slightly backwards as you breathe out. Equal weight through both feet, and trying to keep equal weight through the front of the feet and the back of the feet. You will feel a little bit more weight heading backwards as you lower down. Breathing in, coming up. You should never be sending so much weight back that you feel unstable. So you should, if somebody came up behind you now and poked you in the back, you shouldn't move at all. You're stuck to the ground, rooted and strong. Breathing in and out. Okay, broadening one's chest, taking a breath in, arms coming out and wide. Breathing out, lowering back down. Those feet are planted. They've not moved at all yet. We're still 50-50 through both feet. Out. So equal weight in both legs and both feet. Breathing in, arms coming up and out. Breathing out. Lowering down. Remembering, as always, you're keeping those knees back behind the toes. So don't go down too low. If you start to feel unstable, you're taking it too far down. And be conscious of if you're turning the weight to the inside or outside of your feet. We want to equal all over. So if you feel your feet are rocking out to the side at any time, I'll just do it with mine there. You can see I've shifted the weight to the side. My big toes want to come up. We don't want that. We want them firm and flat and rooted to the ground. Be aware of those toes. Okay, we're coming up with the arms now. We're going to shift the weight to one side, dancing with rainbows. Taking a breath out, shifting the weight to the other side. The feet are still staying flat. I'm not going to concentrate too much on what we're doing with our arms, just thinking about the feet. So you're bending the knee, feet are staying glued to the ground. The weight change is going heavier into the bent leg. So you're looking at about 60% of your weight into the standing leg and about 40% into the other one. So you're having a slight shift of the weight. Breathing in. Concentrate on those feet. Breathing out. And in. So the toe joints are all stuck to the ground. The heels are fixed to the ground. You're shifting the weight slightly, but it's still a nice flat foot. Now we're coming back to centre. It's getting warm in here. I might have to open a window in a minute. Circling arms. So as we breathe out, the arms come down. Crossing at the wrists, breathing in. And out, lowering down. So now it's equal weight through both feet. Have a check, especially as you lower down, that the toes aren't starting to lift at all. Nice, solid, strong rooted feet. Equal through both sides of the body. Breath in as the arms come up, you straighten through the legs, and a breath out, lowering down. Last one. Lowering down. Palms up, we're going to turn to the side, drop an arm back, twist waist, swinging arm. Breathing out. Now we're still looking at equal weight through both feet as we do this. And out. Breathing in. Try not to turn the hips round too far. Breathing out. So be conscious if you're shifting your weight from one leg to the other. We're trying to keep it fairly even. It's the top part of the body that's turning. So only turn as far as you can go. And back round. Don't overreach it. There's no point getting to, if that's as far as you turn, that's as far as you turn. You do this and start taking the weight off your feet. No. So we're turning a little bit over and around. Breathing in. Feeling flexible through the hips, so you're not sticking them solid. Just think about the feet being solid and firm. 50% weight through both feet. Last one. And out. Rowing a boat. So hands are dropping to the side. Feet haven't moved at all yet. Take a breath in. Arms coming up. Hands face the floor as you lower down. Breathing in. And out. So as those feet haven't moved, if you have a quick look down, they should still be facing forwards. Make sure the heels haven't turned in. Breathing in. Solid, glued to the floor. Straightening the legs as you come up on the in-breath. And lowering down. Pelvis going slightly back. Feet stay flat to the floor. One more. And out. Now as holding a ball, you're going to actually move a foot for the first time. So whichever way you're going, you're going to reach across the body with the hand palm up and lift the heel on the same side. So as you breathe in, heel comes up onto the ball joints of that foot to start with. Turn the hand, lower it back down. That's my phone, so just ignore it, folks. Toes coming up, ball joints, and if you can come up onto the toe. Breathing out. Breathing in as you reach, palm up and out. So we're now shifting the weight. You're aiming to get to 90% in this standing leg, so you can bring it up onto the toe now. Just using this toe here as a balance. And as the foot peels up off the floor, all of those little nerves are getting tickled. If you can, come up on the standing leg too. Breathe out back through centre. So breathing in, you're coming right onto the toes on the balanced leg and just lifting that heel so you're on the ball joints of the toes on the standing leg. Only come up as high as you can manage. Breathing in and out. Lowering the heels down slowly. So the feet have been glued. Now they're coming up. When you're up, you're still up and solid. So you're solid through the ball joints of the toes of the foot of the standing leg. And lowering back down. We'll do one more to each side to get a good practice on this. If it's too much to come up with the standing leg, then just stick to lifting the toes on the other leg. And lowering back down. So the feet have woken up now. They're now going to stick again. They're glued. So we're going to take both hands, carry on whichever way you were going, carrying the moon. Breathing out, back through centre. And breathing in as you turn to the side. And out through centre. So feet have woken up now. The back fixed solid to the floor. You're now looking at a little bit of a weight change. But back to more of a 60-40. So whichever way you're heading, the standing leg will take a little bit more weight as you turn to the side, but not a huge amount. So it's still pretty solid through the bottom half, through the trunk of the body. Breathing in and out. And in the centre, take a breath in, elbows coming in, carry on turning and push the heel of the hand away. Breathing in to pull it back. So twist, waist, push, palm. Feet still stay flat to the ground. But you'll feel again a 60-40 weight shift in whichever direction you're going. So going to the right now, the right leg is going to take up a little bit more of the weight. Whichever leg you're going away from will have a little bit less on. It's the easiest way to explain it. So the direction you're going takes 10% more of your weight. And as you come back to centre, it's 50-50, and then the other side. So the bottom of those feet now, all those little nerve endings, getting all the weight shift through them, it's waking them up. Pushing away, playing with clouds, going to turn the hands face you, palm facing you, breathing in, turning to the side. Change the hands over top elbow, leading the way. Breath out. Changing the arms, breathing in. Eyes focusing on the palm of that top hand, keeping those thumbs relaxed and down. Breathing out. Now we're equal weight through both feet. Feet should still be facing forwards. Breathing in. And out. And out. Do one more breath on this before we start our side moves. I'm going to shift slightly back so you can see clearly, hopefully. You're going to take this side, wherever this side is for you. It's my physical right leg. It might look like the left. Half a step forward and turn the foot. So the foot and the knee are facing in the direction we're going. This leg, the standing leg, is still facing forwards. That's not moved at all. As we scoop forwards, we're going to lift the back heel up. Up comes the heel. And then as we come back, you lower the heel and raise the front toes. Breathing in. And out. So this is really going to wake those feet up again. And out. So slow and controlled. Coming up onto the toes of that back foot is just to balance you. Aiming at about a 70% weight into the standing leg, 30% into that back one. So it's still connected to the floor behind us. Do one more. And breathe out to come back down, straighten the feet. So you're going to straighten the standing leg, turn the other one, and we're going to go to the other side. Move back a bit, I think. Okay, away we go. Back heel comes up, and then front toes. As you lift the toes up to the front, make sure you're not locking the knee out. So keeping the knee still soft. Breathing in, ball joints of the toes stay to the ground, lowering down. So coming up onto the ball joints as you take a breath in, and then lowering that foot down, bringing the heel up. Breathing in, and out. Have a check of this back leg. Make sure it's not twisted round at all. What tends to happen is they do that, they want to face the same way. Keeping it facing forwards. And change now, playing with waves. Breathing in as you pull the hands back. Breathing out to push away. And in. Rocking through these feet. Breathing in. And out. So again, 70% weight in the standing leg, 30% in the other, and then shifting it back. So as you go forward, 70% in the front leg, coming back, 70% in the back leg. Changing sides, back to centre, straighten those feet up. So you get to a stage they're both facing forwards, then turn the other leg, pushing away and coming back. Breathing out as you push away, in as you come back. You'll probably find one side is a lot more comfortable and easier for you. We've all got a side we favour. Try not to go too fast on playing with waves. It's very easy to speed up on this one. Slowly rocking through those feet. So we're still nice and solid to the ground. Should feel as you're lifting that back heel up, you feel it up into the bottom here. Stay in this side, taking the arms forwards, palms facing you, breath in, spreading wings, arms coming out. Breathing out as you reach forward. Breathing in, thinking about the feet all the time, so don't worry too much about your arms. Think about the feet, toes coming up, toes going down, heel coming up. Breathing in as the toes come up, and then as you lower forwards, heel comes up on the out breath. Think about those feet. On the in-breath, back to centre, straighten up that leg, make sure it's facing forwards again, turning the other one, nice and solid to the ground. Breathing out and in. As you lift that back heel, you should really, really feel it working up through to the glute, into the bottom. Breathing in. I guarantee you've been thinking so much about your feet. Some of you will have your thumbs in the air. But don't worry today, we're thinking feet. And breathing in back to centre. Straightening those feet up, so we're still a good wide stance. Make sure you haven't brought your legs closer together. Feet facing forwards. Breath in as the elbows come to the side for punching. Breathing out, you punch away. In to pull it back. Now we're not doing a lot with the bottom half of the body, so make sure that the headlamps are facing forwards. Breathing out and in. Equal weight through both feet now, so you're giving them a little bit of a rest. They're still active though. So we're thinking about having 50% weight through both feet. The ball joints of the big toe and the little toe pressed into the ground, and the heel pressing into the ground. Breathing in and out and in. Dropping the hands to the side, flying like a wild goose. Give those hands a wiggle. We're coming up onto the toes now. Little fingers to the side of the thighs. Breathing in, coming up onto both lots of toes. Breathing out, slow lower back down, soften the knees, pelvis slightly back. So that's our move. As you come up, you're coming up onto the ball joints of the feet, but you're coming as high as you're comfortable with. Breathing out. Now what you've got to really concentrate on here, which is very difficult to do and speak, as you lower slowly back down, try and get both heels to touch at the same time. You'll have a stronger leg, want to be stronger than the other. Breathing out, slowly lowering down, trying to get those heels to touch both at the same time. And again, make sure they've not turned in. We're looking at feet facing forwards. Just really tuck those up a bit so you can. If I tuck my trousers into my knickers, then they might last for a couple of moves. Right, breathing in, so you can see the feet a bit better. Lowering down, breathing out. Now my right one touched just before then. Breathing in and slowly down, breathing out. That's better, both together. Breathing in. You don't want one leg to be doing all the work. Breathing out. One more. Take a breath in and slow lower down. Okay, feet now flat to the floor, both hands, so spinning wheel. Do the smaller version first, do the big version if you're happy with it. Take a breath in, this one keeping your head fixed and forwards, and then breathing out as you lower back down. Breathing in. Alright, so feet are facing forwards. At this position, equal weight through both feet. As you start to shift, 60% into the standing leg, come up through the centre, 50-50, and then 60% into this standing leg. So I'll do the full movement for those who are joining in this one, coming up with the body. As you come down, 60% into that standing leg, 50-50, 60-40. When we get to the bottom of this one, we'll change direction. So a little swing when you're at 50%, then coming up, taking the arms and the torso with you on that in-breath, and breathing out. So you've got a little bit of a weight shift, but you're really firm and solid to the ground. Breathing in and out. Just try not to speed up the out breath on the bottom of this circle. Last one. I'll do this smaller movement for the last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, now we're going to take the hands into bouncing a ball. So you are going to come off one foot. You're shifting the weight. If you need to, just come up onto the ball joints. If you can, you're going to shift the weight. Slide the foot, breath in, knee comes up, foot dangles. Comes back down, facing forwards. And the other one, breathing out. And in and out. So whether you're doing the knee lift or just the heel lift, doesn't matter. Think about the foot as it comes back down, facing forwards. And now if you can, if you're quite comfortable with the knee lift, the knee comes up. When you get the knee up, the hands up, you do a lift and lower on that standing leg. And the other side, breathing in and out. Thinking about the feet all the time. Breathing in, try and make it a slow lift and lower. I know it's not easy. You're challenging yourself, strengthening that ankle. One more to each side. So your in breath, whichever version you're doing, and the out breath. Feet come flat. Think about them shoulder width apart. Spread those toes again if you need to firmly plant them to the ground. Press palms to finish. So breath in and out. So we're back to 50-50 through both feet. They feel nice and flat and secure to the ground. Nice and solid through the bottom half of the body. Breathing in as you bring the hands up towards the face and then turning the arms in the shoulder sockets to push the hands away from you on the out breath. And out. Breathing in and out. Really make sure on this one you're not doing anything strange with your toes. I've seen all kinds of weird things in class. Toes want to lift, they want to wiggle. Try and keep them flat and secure to the ground, especially as you're pushing down. Breathing in and out. Okay, we're going to take our hands into soft prayer position just above your head and step the feet back in to hip bone distance apart. Now the reason I do this, we're looking at getting equal balance through both sides of the body. So as you bring these hands down the centre line, you're thinking about both shoulders being relaxed and down. Release the hands, left hand and right hand onto the lower tummy. Feet are flat to the floor. Again, if you need to, spread those toes, plant them down again. Ball joints of both feet flat to the floor, big toe, little toe, heel. Knees soft and relaxed, pelvis very slightly back, long through the front of the body, thumbs are relaxed, shoulders relaxed and down. Slow the breathing, make sure you're not gripping with the buttocks, jaws relaxed. You've got a golden thread pulling you tiny bit taller through the crown of the head. Close those eyes. Making sure as you breathe in, you feel the stomach expand as you release all the muscles. And then breathing out, squeezing that air out from the pelvic floor, front and back, through the stomach, until all the air's gone and the rib cage drops. Breathing in and let it all go. Breathing out. And in. Breathing out. And in. Feeling the stomach expand and collapse beneath those hands. Breathe out. And in. Breathing out. And in. And out. And last breath in. Open your eyes. Thank you for joining in. Much appreciated. No drama today, just one phone call. Give those hands a big rub. Rub the hands together. And then you're going to take them to your face. You're going to go all in and around the face, in the hairline, back of the ears, back of the neck. And then get into the scalp. Give it a good rub. Then we're going to tap down the outside of both arms. Nice firm taps up the inside. Don't be shy. Give yourself a good wallop. Down the outside of the legs. Those legs have been working really hard. Down to those lovely feet that are facing forwards. Up the inside of the legs. And then wipe your arms. Outside arms. Inside arms. Outside legs. And inside legs. You're good to go. I've just let the cat out. She's sat waiting at the door very patiently. And that's it. That is today. The acupressure point at the centre of your feet is referred to in the Tai Chi as the bubbling springs, which is, there's lots of different versions of it because translating from Chinese is a very difficult art because their words don't mean the same as our words. They mean the same as like several of our words. So, but bubbling spring is the one that sticks in my mind. So you're doing a lot of work on your bubbling spring acupressure point. Anyone who's dabbled in Reiki or had acupuncture, all these sorts of things, it's the same kind of thinking behind it, looking at the meridian lines of the body and where all our nerve endings come out. But basically, you've got an awful lot of nerve endings in the bottom of your feet and the same in your hands. So we work on waking them up and getting them fired up in Tai Chi. Hi Nanny Blossom. Hi Teen, how you made it on? Hi Connie. Who else? If I haven't said hi to you, hi Liz, I think I said hi to you earlier. If I missed anyone out, much apologies, but hopefully you enjoyed today's session, thinking about those feet. If you have got the spiky balls, then remember, keep rolling them at home. Hi Chris, thanks for joining in. Yeah, no drama today. It's nice, it's how it should be. So, I don't know, that's not too bad on time either. So it's actually quite warm in here, so I will be probably finishing this bottle before dinner time. You should have worked up a bit of warmth in your body. You should be glowing. Us ladies glow, don't we? International Women's Day today, remember? We are fabulous, we're powerful, we're strong. Thinking about the strength from the bottom half of the body. So if the tree analogy helps you at all to kind of picture what we're aiming to do, then brilliant. Think about those feet being stuck firm. Hopefully it'll help aid the balance with some of the moves, because as you're moving the top part of the body, we're constantly changing our centre of gravity. And you really, I don't think you realise, especially when you start doing this, you're all thinking about the movements and the arms and where my arm should be, where my head should be. And you don't realise exactly how much work the legs are doing. And we're doing an awful lot of work on the legs, even though it's slow. It's keeping those legs nice and strong. Squats, the pelvic movement slightly backwards. It's just that going into a start of a squat. Squats, as you know, getting in and out of chairs. You want to be able to keep getting in and out of chairs and not have to have one of those electric things they see on the telly to aid you. You've got to keep the legs nice and strong. So it's all good. So I hope you have a lovely week. Thanks for joining in. I'll probably get a new battery for the Land Rover. But apart from that, hopefully no dramas. And I'll keep you updated on here. Can't believe it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So if you're lucky enough to still have a mum around, then make sure you give her a call and send her a card and let her know you appreciate her. And if you're not, just remember your mums, and hopefully you get lots of nice things off your family. Yeah, so Mother's Day Sunday. And then we're halfway through March. And where's that gone? Officially out of lockdown now. Partly. So kids are going back to school, so lower ages. Other than that, there's not a huge difference at the moment, but it's this gradual phasing out now. Over 56s now, you can get your jab. So if you're 56 and over, and you haven't been called up, don't mess around waiting for anyone. Just go onto the NHS website, and it'll say you can book your COVID jab in the major centres. I'm waiting for it to come down the next lot, and I think I'll be able to get Andy booked in then, because he's 54 this year, so hopefully it'll drop to 53. Otherwise I'll have to wait again. But yes, 56 and over, if you haven't been called up and you want a jab, it's not compulsory, but if you want it, it's there, go for it. I know some places are not getting the numbers. They've got plenty of jabby stuff, plenty of the inoculations, and they're not necessarily getting the full appointments booked up. So go for it, or tell everybody else. So the more of us that can get jabbed, then the sooner we can get out to some kind of life again. So yeah, thank you for joining in. I'll see you all next Monday. Lots of love from me and the Dopey Cats down here in Holcombe, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye. Vaccine, that's the word, Pauline.